Welcome back to the Twilight Zone. This is the video that I've been avoiding. I've been avoiding this video since I started this project because it's a very heavy topic. And as someone who has been a Christian for 15 years, it's hard for me to say. And it's difficult to say these things about an institution that I love, an institution that brought me so far from where I was to where I am now. And I'm talking about the church. I am talking about organized religion as a whole. And literally for the last 5 years, I've been trying to figure out a way to say this so as not to offend my pastor, not to offend the people who I've shared my faith with, not to offend all of us who love God and who love Jesus and who believe in the Bible and the salvation story. And I do this with a very heavy heart. But I've been given a word from God, and He really gave it to me a long time ago, and I've been stalling to do this. But now's the time, because you know how words will sit in your mouth, and if you've ever been given something by God and you don't act on it, that thing is like a child ready to be born, and after a while it just gets to kicking and moving and you have to let it out. So that's where I'm at in this video. The word that I've been given is that the church has lost its power. Now that sounds like, of course it's lost its power. Look at the state of the world. But what I'm saying is internally, we are in a state of absolute confusion. Internally, we think that we're doing the right things, and we are not. We have people in other organizations, in other cults, in other sections of society who are using the powers that we've been given as human beings to do all sorts of things that we, the church, should be masters of. We have people out here who are healing other human beings with their touch, with their thoughts, remote healing, who won't use the name of God. And that's where the power comes from. They won't use the name of God because the church has hijacked God's name and they don't feel comfortable using it, or they don't believe in God, or it doesn't matter to them. But the bottom line is that was a power that God gave every human being. And because the church has demonized everything supernatural, we don't even tap into our own powers. Imagine if people could literally come to church and be healed. I know there are churches out there doing it, and I know people have their healing rooms and their prayer rooms and things like this, but this should be, the church should be like a hospital. That's how much power we are supposed to have because of our true connection to God, because of our true connection to this available strength that is out there. And we don't. Let me calm down because I tend to be, this is a very important topic for me. Because I know that the church is full of people who actually do love God and want to do the right thing. But they're being told Sunday after Sunday that all they need to do is be saved, do a little bit of ministry, give your tithes, and try to be good. Try to behave. That's what we're being taught. 15 years. And that is the same Sunday message. Maybe ramped up a little bit in this part, maybe played down a little bit on Easter Sunday, but the same message. And none of us are being taught that we, as human beings, can do all of the things that Jesus did. Raise the dead, heal the sick, walk through walls, transfiguration, teleportation, telepathy, read minds. Those are all powers that we have as humans. If you don't believe me, that's okay. But you're going to believe the facts. Facts are there are human beings who can do this so well that they have made literal careers out of this. Clairvoyance. Oh, don't mess with that. That's demonized. That's demonized. Everybody knows that intent is what makes something good or bad. If you're using it for bad, then it's bad. If you're using it for good, then it is good. Okay? And the church is failing. Now you think about this. When Jesus came back, when he came to earth, who was he angry with? Not the sinners, not the tax collectors, not the people who were doing dirt. Those are the people he was sharing meals with. He was flipping over tables on those Pharisees. You know what Pharisees are? The religious leaders of that day. Why? Because they were making it too hard for the people who just wanted to love and serve God to do just that. They were charging them too much money. They were putting all kinds of rules and regulations on them. They were giving them information, misinformation to keep them stuck, to keep them enslaved so that they could stay in power. That's why Jesus was pissed off at them. And what did he call them? Whitewashed tombs. Outside you look like you got it all together, but inside you're dead. You're rotted. And that is exactly what has happened now. I don't know if the preachers and pastors are doing this on purpose or if they've all been misled, but this is what is happening. And I'm telling you guys, time's up. The world as we know it is ending. You don't want me to say that. I don't want to say that. But the bottom line is, we are walking around on the Titanic. And us trying to rearrange our decks and all of that, pretty up your houses and pretty up yourselves and your cars and things like that, that's all well and good. But the bottom line is, this world is changing. The world as we know it is ending. And the church, instead of being at the forefront of all of this change, helping people tap into their superpowers, helping people, get the knowledge that they need to heal themselves and to heal other people, they're too busy running themselves like a business. How much money do we make? How many pastors can we pay? How many buildings can we build? What? How come I haven't bumped into another Christian in Walmart, in Costco, in a restaurant? Hell, in church. I can barely find another Christian in church. Oh, you're in my seat. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Or you got on some funky, fake, phony smile, ushering people in like, no, nobody believes you anymore. Unless you're part of the social club. I mean, if they let you in the social club, then yeah, absolutely, you're in. And sister so-and-so, and she's so great. She's a PST. Listen, all that phony, fake baloney is not going to save the world. We are supposed to be ambassadors of the most powerful being in all of the universes, not just the universe, because there's trillions of them. And yet we can't even give up our parking spot on Sunday. This is a pathetic state of affairs. I'm going to do a series. I'm going to try to break down how science, religion, and the metaphysics community all go together. We're all saying the same thing. And that you, as a human being, have the same access to all the powers that Jesus had as a human being. It's our own dogma. He gave up all of his deity to be a regular human connected to God, and he was able to walk on water and tell a fig tree to die, and it did, and pull coins out of fishes' mouths and grab fish out of the sea where there wasn't any fish. He did all those things as a human connected to God. And you and I can do the same things if we learn how. Now, I can help if you allow me to. Like this page. Subscribe to this channel. There is more information coming. I'm going to try to help us as a community get prepared for the coming that's coming. Do you know that there are people who don't even believe in a rapture? Do you know that there are parts of the churches that believe the rapture already happened? Have you ever questioned it, researched it, looked into it yourself? Is it really real? There's only one scripture that points even remotely to a rapture, and it never mentions that it actually is happening or going to happen. So all of you who think, oh, I won't be here when the last days come because blah, blah, blah. I mean, you might want to think again and know for sure. Not because your pastor said. Not because that was what your mama taught you and all of this. I'm talking about, let's get real, because this is very, very real. And I don't want you to be left out in the cold. So, subscribe. Do it now. Press the button. And let's go through this together. And make sure that we have all the truth. Or at least examine what we have. So that even if you don't believe me and you don't do anything other than what you're doing, at least you will know what I know. Okay.